Good afternoon and welcome to the next in our series of virtual online classes brought to you by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce in partnership with the Smithville Public Library, as well as some very generous funding partners. I'm going to ask our library director, Judy Bergeron, to talk about them a little bit. Judy?
Thank you, April. This grant and this opportunity to offer these classes comes to us with the funding from the Institute for Museum and Library Services and the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. And we're very excited to bring this series of classes, and especially today's class, where Anna Marie is going to tell us about social media.
Yay! Yay, absolutely. Thank you, Judy. For those of you that are watching online, you can ask questions anytime during the class. Today's class is about social media and how it will help your business, brought to you by Anna Murray with Sundance Expressions. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little pop-up that says chat. Just click on that and ask your questions anytime during the class. And then, of course, at the end of the class, we will have a Q&A session. So having said all that, I will turn the class over to you, Ms. Murray.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, April and Judy and everyone who is here. Appreciate you being here today, and I hope that I can help you this time be useful for you. I'm sorry, I was trying to get my picture out of my own screen. So today, Social Media Explained, I'm hoping that you have an opportunity to learn about social media platforms that maybe you do or do not use, and maybe you're motivated to add one or two. So let's jump in and let's review the agenda. So today's agenda, I want to spend just a minute talking about traditional versus digital marketing, and digital is really interchangeable with social media or a part of social media, and then the common platforms. So many of us are familiar with Facebook being a social networking site that makes it easy for us to connect and share with family and friends online. At least that's what the intent was initially when it was founded. It's kind of grown from there. Instagram, we'll touch on that one. It's a popular photo sharing app that allows us to connect with brands, celebrities, thought leaders, and again, friends and family. And then there's Twitter. Twitter is like a micro blogging system. It allows us to send and receive short posts called tweets. I love it when I hear people say, I've been twitting. So if you're on Twitter and you're posting, you are tweeting. Think of like a bird. The fourth one that I'll be covering today is YouTube. And this is a free video sharing website, and it makes it very easy to watch online videos, and you can also create and upload your own videos to share with others. And of course, the last one is podcasting. This is an episodic series of spoken words, digital audio files that you can use to download to, or anyone can use to download to a personal device for easy listening. We already have a chat. Look at this. Oh, goodness, Judy, I knew there would be someone asking about TikTok. Yes, I definitely will touch on that. I didn't really focus on it because I wasn't really 100% how that really played into the majority of businesses, but I do see the value. So I'm going to add a little bit about that here in a minute. If for some reason I skip over it, I'll come back to this question because I do have some notes on that as well. Such as, there's other platforms you may have heard of outside of the ones I've listed here. We've got, like Judy mentioned in the chat, TikTok, which is a short form video sharing app and allows users to create and share anywhere from 15 to 30-second videos on any topic. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question because I did a quick search on the benefits of TikTok for your business. And let me just say up front, business or organization, nonprofit, all these are wrapped up in the one meaning today. When I refer to business, I'm really referring to anyone who's trying to get a message out to a target audience outside of our personal family and friends. So according to Forbes, the target audience of TikTok is around 16 years of age up to 30. That doesn't mean if you're over 30 and you're on TikTok that you should jump off. It's just that's the higher reach or the higher number of average age that's using TikTok. I'm just barely, April and I especially are just barely outside of that range. So I'm not on it. And that plug was for April. So according to Forbes, they recommend that if you're looking to expand awareness of your business or brand to a younger audience, Judy, I can see where that would benefit the library, especially for your young readers. They're also on things like Snapchat, and there are businesses on Snapchat. I do not go that route. I have chosen more of the larger, more prominent social media platforms when I operate for my business and others, but it's out there and it is something that can be looked into. TikTok does allow you to showcase your products and videos on their site as far as what you would use it for, you know, previewing a book or previewing an activity. It can definitely be something that you can use. But I'll tell you that what I've read about TikTok is it's really entertaining and using lighthearted content, things that can go viral, but at the same time might jump in the feed of some of your young audience. So I hope that answered your question. But other than that, I really didn't dive into it too much. I will do a little comparison of Instagram Reels. That is their Instagram's way of trying to get into that quick video sharing. Throughout this, I'm going to go over the benefits of how this could benefit each of your businesses, or each of these platforms could benefit your business. So I'm going to step into, just for a moment, looking at traditional marketing versus digital marketing. So traditional marketing involves traditional channels, things that many of us on this class today are familiar with and used to, such as billboards, TV, radio, printed media, and these are still relevant today. It's not that they're not, it's just that the digital world has added a whole new opportunity for businesses to get in front of potential customers. So up until the 90s, traditional marketing was pretty much the only type of marketing. Think of magazines, also newspapers, mailers, and we still use them today. Posters, flyers, business cards. Those are not to be discounted. We still need to utilize those. But word of mouth is a big marketing tool, especially in a small business sector as well as a local community. And that leads to the digital aspect. This is a channel such as websites and social media platforms that you use as tools for your marketing. Now, I said word of mouth because social media, to me, the reason it was entirely created was for that whole social aspect of connecting with family and friends, just like Facebook was, I think, back in 2004 when it was created. I think that's correct. Ultimately, word of mouth, if we like something, we want to tell our friends. We used to tell them at the coffee shop or in class or at the office. Now we tell them instantly when we are enjoying something. And there's also that side when we're telling people when we don't enjoy something. So digital, social media falls under digital. It's very important for your business or organization. So let's jump into Facebook. I've got a couple of demographics here I would like for you to see. As we begin here, Facebook is the number of monthly active users is 2.7 billion people. The largest age group that is on Facebook is the 25 to 34 years of age. That does not mean that younger and older of that age group is not there. It's just that 26%, which is the largest group, is age 25 to 34. But if you notice, 26.3% is not an overwhelming percentage. So if you spread it out, other groups are there as well. 44% of females are on Facebook and 56% of males use Facebook. That kind of surprised me. For some reason, I just assumed that there would be more females on Facebook, but survey says, here we go. And the average time a day spent on Facebook per user is about 38 minutes. That might make you check yourself. Am I using Facebook for 38 minutes or longer or not. It doesn't mean you need to, just it's there. So why should your business consider Facebook? So even if you're not a fan of Facebook on a personal level, consider this. People use Facebook as a search engine, and it makes your business legit, if you will. Put my air quotes up, legit. You're actually there if you're on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, are there consumers out there, especially in the younger age range, that, well, they don't have a Facebook page. Maybe they're not really a business, or maybe I shouldn't trust them. It's become the go-to search for different restaurants, businesses, organizations, and it's quick. It's got tons of information in one place. So Facebook also allows you to post text content, images, videos, live videos, and you can add links to your website, which is good because that can help increase the search engine optimization for your website. When you have a link within your post, someone can select it and go straight to your website where there's an enormous amount of information. Consider that. You can also tag people, friends, and other businesses. So there's a lot of connectivity there from the social aspect. So Facebook allows you an opportunity to communicate with customers and potential customers easily and consistently. Facebook alone has a nice creator studio platform that is free from a business page standpoint, that you can schedule posts. So you do not have to be on Facebook at 2:30 in the afternoon when you really want to get that message out, or 7:30 in the evening, or you can follow this trend where I'm going. You can schedule your posts days, weeks, months in advance. It can be very beneficial if you have something coming up and you need to schedule your time to where you're not constantly on that phone, because you can post directly to a creator studio app called Business Manager on your, well, at least on the iPhone. I'm certain it's there for the Android as well. And for your desktop, laptop, and you can schedule ahead of time. It's very beneficial for people to do that. Facebook is one of the largest platforms. Can't say enough. I mean, I don't have to say anything else about that. It's the largest platform because there's tons of people on it. So Facebook also allows you to humanize your company. You can build your community. You can increase your SEO, like I mentioned. And the one other thing I want to mention real quick about Facebook is Facebook has this thing called stories. So if you have a personal Facebook account, you notice at the very top of your phone, when you're on your phone looking at Facebook, that there's these little columns of stories. You could promote your business or organization through stories. And so it'll pop up to the top at people's Facebook page, and they don't have to worry about scrolling or missing something. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't also post within the content. It just is a second way on Facebook right there. It's like a second news feed. Look at it that way. And of course, they are user generated. And the last bullet here, out of all the statistics and the capabilities of Facebook, consider if you do not have a page, or if you do have a page, your competition has a Facebook page. And I should point out, a business page. Do not try to run your business organization from your personal account. It's a whole different look. It's a whole different feel. So setting up that business page is very important. If you want to learn more about Facebook business pages, I know that there are prior recordings of these types of classes, and as well as any kind of Google search, you can find information about how to do that. All right, I'm going to move on to Instagram, review a couple of demographics and usage with Instagram. Again, number of monthly active users, 1 billion. Not as many as Facebook, but still quite a few, right? The largest age group is the same as Facebook, the 25 to 34-year-old range. It's a little higher percentage amongst users. And again, just opposite, there's more female users of Instagram than there are males at 57 to 43%. And the average time spent per day is 29 minutes. Instagram. So why should you consider having an Instagram account? I want to go back real quick and mention that Facebook and Instagram share the same ad platform. So whereas these platforms are free and you do not have to invest one penny outside of your own time, you can boost your posts, you can create ads. So they share the same platform because Facebook acquired Instagram. So they are owned by the same company. So you get a lot of the same benefits. So Reels is something that Instagram introduced to compete with TikTok. Reels are similar to TikTok in that they are 15 to 30 second multi-clip videos. So they could be a succession of pictures or quick videos, and they only last 15 to 30 seconds. And the whole point is to be entertaining, engaging, and Instagram's way of competing with TikTok, because obviously Instagram did not want to lose users to a different platform because they didn't have this new, fun, crazy short video clip opportunity. All right. So back to why should your business consider having an Instagram account? Again, simply because Facebook is connected to Instagram, so you get a lot of those same benefits. But also, according to Digital Uncovered, the engagement rate of Instagram is 10 times more than that of Facebook, 54 times more than that of Pinterest, and about 84 times more than that of Twitter. That's a lot of engagement. And I know that I have an Instagram account as well. Instagram is very much like Facebook. Customers will look for you on Instagram. They'll utilize hashtags to search for you, or your company name, and possibly even your location. So the fun thing about Instagram is it's very picture focused. It's more picture focused than it is content. But so the picture pops up at the top and the content is at the bottom, where on Facebook, it's just the opposite. You get your content at the top with your image or your website link at the bottom. It's very image focused, but the content is still important for people. And it's a great place for people to actually comment, like, share. You can do the same things that you can do with Facebook. It's just in a different platform. So what I've also noticed with Instagram is businesses will find that they've been tagged by someone who has used their product or come into their store, and then they will screenshot that. They'll share it to their own Instagram account, but then they'll also screenshot that, clean it up, a little edit with a cropping tool on their phones, and they'll grab 2 or 3 of those, maybe 1, maybe 2, sometimes more, and then they will add those to stories at the top of their Facebook page. So you talk about cross-posting and using content. And as a business owner, when a random customer posts a positive review in pictures about your business, and you can screenshot that and add that to your Facebook stories or reshare it on your social platform, that's gold. That's free gold, by the way. So Instagram, it's a good option. And again, because it is owned by Facebook, you can do a lot of cross-posting, and actually within the Creator Studio and the Business Manager on your phone, that app, you can actually post at the same time from the app. In Creator Studio, you have to go to 2 different places, but there's also a training on Creator Studio that the Chamber has offered, and the library, I do believe. Moving on to Twitter. With Twitter, we have 187 million daily active users. The largest age group tends to be a little older on Twitter. However, that's 44%. That doesn't mean that they're not, all these platforms doesn't mean that there's not an age group that's not using it. But this is just the largest age group, which is the 30 to 49 age range. More males are using this as compared to females, and people are using or spending time on Twitter about almost 4 minutes per session. And the thing is, that's per session. That doesn't mean that that people that use Twitter don't check Twitter throughout the day. They're just there for about 3 to 4 minutes. And it is more of a social, it's more of a news outlet than anything. But let me check the chat real quick. Instagram only cell phone friendly. Actually, They actually currently right now, you can post to Instagram from Creator Studio. The best way, the friendliest way is on your phone right now, Barbie, but I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but there's word coming down that they are going to make this more desktop friendly because people are utilizing a lot of these social platforms from the desktop, and they want that to be more convenient. I've seen ways to kind of hack into it from the backside, but it's very complicated, and I would not bother doing that. Oh, yay. Thank you. So Barbie, I hope I answered your question. So cell phone is friendly. Cell phone is friendly. Hello. Instagram is very friendly from the cell phone. You can use it in Creator Studio, but as far as updating information like your website and things, I'd stick to the phone for now. Okay. So why should you consider using Twitter for your business? So Twitter has maintained a consistent user base and growth over the years. It's a good place to get quick news and host customer service responses. Now, larger companies use Twitter a lot. Very, very well-known brands use Twitter a lot. I know that one of the most famous stories that I can remember about Twitter is someone having a bad experience on an airplane, and they couldn't get anyone to help them, so they tweeted. Well, apparently this flight company, what do you call those? Oh my goodness. I hate it when I have just a total shutdown of the brain cells, but the company that owned the plane, I don't know who it is, so I'm not going to say, they actually had someone monitoring their social media account and saw the concern, immediately responded, and the person got what they needed. Things were taken care of. But it's good to be able to connect with people or the business or the company that way. It's just unfortunate when there's negativity out there as well to get someone to respond to you, because it's so worldwide. Anyone that is on that platform can see it, especially if they're following that particular company. I do know from my own experience, when I've had trouble with a platform or a company and I have a question, I go to the email, I try to do the old-fashioned email. I sometimes go to Facebook Messenger. It's amazing what you can get on socials, because there's so many things that are set up on our phones, like notifications, that companies get those pings with, whether on their desktop as their employees are using the computers and laptops, or the phone pings. And if you have a Facebook page for business or organization, you may consider turning on your notifications if you want to know instantly so that you can respond to people. However, if you have a very well-known page and a very active page, consider your phone may be dinging quite a bit. But it's all in what you need and your customer needs. So just another quick angle there. So it is recommended that you have a Twitter account for your business so you can have a presence on Twitter and that you can connect with your potential customers. There's also an understanding that this platform moves quickly and it can be overwhelming. But honestly, any platform can. If you have a Twitter account and you have you follow a lot of different Twitter users, you may not see your own tweet, although you will see it because it gets buried. I have quite a few that I follow on a personal level. And so when I jump in, I usually I look for those companies or I do a quick scroll, but I have followed so many, it's hard to keep up with them. But then again, I can turn on notifications and know when I'm getting a certain tweet from a certain place. So thinking about a strategy for Twitter, again, remember, you can simply place information out there that you did on Instagram and Facebook so that you can cover the bases on a basic level. But you can also step it up a little bit and create a voice, one of humor or one of information, like you're going to promote your company or your product. So think of your strategy. So if you really want to get into Twitter, you really want that to be driving toward the demographic that you're looking for to connect with, think about presence versus strategy. At the bare minimum, your presence is you're there, you can be seen, you can be found, you can share information, and the strategy is more of, is it going to look a little different than the other platforms? But then again, you really kind of should do that with all your platforms. But with so many platforms out there, from the most fundamental level, I recommend get the information out there and watch how your users, your potential audience, how it grows, and really dive into the demographic that supports your business, your organization, and they're out there and what they're listening to. So if you're really big on Instagram, stay on Instagram. Don't let it go. If you've been working for years on Twitter and you just can't seem to get that following to increase, think about your strategy. Think about when you're posting. And there are tools out there that you can post and schedule or post directly. So think of those things as well. I'm going to slide on over to YouTube. And here, YouTube, 2 billion monthly active users. Check this out. The largest age group is the 15 to 25-year-olds. I know a ton of people over 25. Again, April and I barely missed this demographic, and it's very popular for 72% of all internet users, 72% of female internet users, and 72% of all male internet users. If you have asked a question through a search engine on your computer, you've probably seen an option to choose a YouTube video to explain how to use something, how to do something. It's amazing that it is a how-to mecca. And check this out, 42 minutes a day. Those 18 and older are on YouTube. I do not fit that category. 42 minutes. Think about this, the number of minutes people are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and all these other platforms. People are spending a lot of time online on their phones, on their computers. And is your business there? Is your organization there? Do they have an opportunity to find you? Even if you're not as prevalent in their feed as you want to be, are you there? That's a big one. All right, let's step into why should you consider using YouTube to promote your business. Video, video, video. The mantra has been preached over and over for the past couple of years about getting the message out for your business via video. This is Facebook, this is Instagram, Twitter. You can put a link on a video in Twitter. Here again, YouTube is a video platform. There's still hesitation though. I have my own hesitation. Sometimes it's about being camera shy. Sometimes it's about that perfection level. But ultimately, creating videos and providing information to people, it's so much easier than trying to read an instruction manual. It's so much easier than coming in and asking you face to face what I can do, how I can do this from any level, whether it's, I think I'm getting off track with my notes here, but it's like if you want to learn how to mix a cocktail, if there's a restaurant or bar or a distillery out there that's willing to show people how to do that, they're going to be the thought leader in the user's mind, in the viewer's mind. And then they potentially are going to like their product. They're going to try their product. Sales. And if I like your product, more sales, potential sales. I'm going to talk to my friends, literally, and I'm also going to share it on social media. That's what people do. That's just the nature of it. You need to figure out how to use your new platform that you just got, Facebook, for instance, or YouTube. You can Google how to set up my YouTube channel. There's video after video after video to help you do that. So again, YouTube is a great place for you to share information about your company, about your employees. Let me get back to my notes because I know I'm going to miss something. So it's another thing is differentiating between your organization, your business, and your competitor or your neighbor. The thing is, There are a ton of plumbers out there. What makes you different? There are different chambers out there. What makes this chamber different? And anyone here, what makes your business different? Doesn't mean that you're better, but you know you are, right? It's because you have a way of doing things. You have a presence. You have, it's just you. It's be you, and people are going to connect with you, and they have a feeling they get to know you a little bit better. So the question is, again, what kind of videos do you create? And it does depend on your business, but I mentioned promoting team members, products, sales, services. If you just start a list, the good old-fashioned basic paper and pencil, and start thinking about what you want people to know about your business or organization, you could fill up a piece of paper quickly. There's no doubt about it. Videos are easy to watch, as I mentioned earlier. It's a lot easier to watch a video than to read an instruction manual. Think about the last instruction manual you read. Wouldn't it have been nice to have someone show you that? And you can hear it. Some of us are really good at reading instructions and getting them from the get-go, but there are more people that can watch it and understand it better than reading. And another nice part about video, when you're especially looking at a how-to, you can pause that video. You can slide it back. Let me hear that again. Let me hear that again. Oh, I get it. Okay. So it's a lot of opportunity for people to learn by listening and by watching. So let's see. And of course, here I had some examples for you. How could your business, like if you're a boutique, could you help other people by showing people how to pair cute items of clothing or cool items of clothing? Could you fix a minor problem, help them fix a minor problem in their home where you, as maybe a construction person, could go out and do that for them? But if you showed them how to do the basic, you're sharing information, you're giving them the information that you are knowledgeable about what you do. And when it comes to the more difficult items, or maybe even through your video, they're going to think, oh, I could do this, but I just don't know. I think I'm going to call these guys. They're in my area. So they get to know you. They know who you are. They know what you sound like. So it's like you're making that connection with the consumer before you even meet them. It helps people feel more trusting of you as well. So here's a really nice thing about YouTube. Having a YouTube channel is like having a second website without the cost of hosting or the upkeep, because it's free. All of these platforms are free. There's no cost outside of your time. Because Google owns YouTube, Google helps promote your videos through that search engine optimization. There's so many things going on behind the scenes that help your videos get found. There's so much, in fact, that you could have a separate class on this. But for the basic understanding, if you put together a YouTube video and you put that on your YouTube channel, Google is going through, they have augmented intelligence, of course, and they go through and read your script and they pull out keywords, and it becomes part of your keyword search without you ever having to do a thing. And when someone asks, or they're searching, how do I, your video could pop up in the top listing of how-tos because of your area, because of the question, because of what your dialogue was in that video. That, my friend, is mind-blowing. When I learned that, I was taken aback. It was a job. So here's a stat I want you to hear. With 300 hours of video uploaded to YouTube, dramatic pause, every minute, there are 300 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute. Here's the key. Only 9% of United States small businesses are on YouTube. 9%. 300 hours of video uploaded every minute, and only 9% of small businesses in this country use YouTube to promote their business. Now tell me that is not a large, mostly untapped market for your business organization. So then on top of that, there's the social aspect of the interactions. You can like the videos, you can comment, and you can share them. Now, I will say that if you put a YouTube video out and you put it on your YouTube channel, you can grab that link and you can place it on your Facebook page. I'm not going to tell you or encourage you not to do that. Is that a double negative? But understand that Facebook and Google are direct competitors. So whereas if you take that same video and upload it to your Facebook page, you're going to get a better, potentially organic reach than adding the link. But if you're trying to promote that you have a YouTube channel, you would want to use that link. So think about what your intent is. Only because Facebook and Google are competitors, if you take let me restate this. If you take a Google link from a video for your business and you put it on your Facebook business page, Google may throttle that reach down a little bit. You can boost it up by putting some dollars in and trying to get it into your local area or create an ad. Just be aware, because a lot of the things that we do for one social account, we could cross post or use that same content and place in other or on other platforms. So just think about what you're doing. If you don't feel like your reach is getting out there, how can you help promote it? But again, you can put it on Instagram, you can put the links on Twitter and the link on Facebook, and you're still going to get seen. Just remember, they're competitors. Okay. Now I am going to touch on podcasting real quick here. I think I've got a few minutes left. So I added podcasting, even though TikTok and Reddit and Pinterest may be higher on the list of go-to for the business. This is kind of like YouTube. Podcasting is so convenient for people that I feel the way podcasting is growing, and in my experience as a listener and my experience in business, that podcasting is coming up more and more for people. It's becoming more of a go-to. It's such an easy listen. Well, excuse me, it's so easy to listen wherever you are. Some of you may be listening to a podcast right now. So here are the demographics and usage stats. 24%, 68 million people listen to podcasts weekly. Guilty, guilty, guilty. It's wonderful where you can do this. The one fact that the stat that I found that it's amazing to me, podcast listeners are much more active on every social media channel. Consider that. So podcast people, that 68 million people that listen to podcasts, they don't just go to one social channel, they go to a ton of them. And then here's an interesting fact. 69% agreed, 69% of the people polled agreed that podcast ads made them aware of new products or services. And I'll point out to you that your chamber has a Chamber Chatter podcast. And within that podcast, the host, who you may know and love, I'm sure we all do, April Daniels, she always has an advertiser on the podcast. So she's always thanking that business or that organization for sponsoring today's podcast. And so you're not only learning about this content, the business that April is bringing to her local community, you're also learning about another business that's sponsoring this podcast. That's a great use of advertising, and it makes people, look at this percentage, 69% agreed that podcast ads made them aware of new products or services. Some other information I wanted to share with you is that the 12 years old to 34, 48% users, 35 years of age to 54, 32% users, and 20% of the age group 55 and older are users, I should say listeners of podcasts. The 51% of podcast listeners are male, and this is the same as the population of the United States. And then again, podcast listeners are more likely to follow companies and brands on social media. I can agree with that because the podcasts I listen to, I don't want to miss them. There's so much opportunity to get in the feed where you subscribe, and they show up in your feed of your podcast app, wherever you listen. And also, I have gone to those same podcast hosts' social media pages and followed them and learned even more about their business or organization. So why should your business consider, or why should you, consider starting a podcast to promote your business? So consumers prefer easy to digest information. Podcasts are available on demand, practically anywhere. If you've got an internet connection or you've already downloaded the material, you can listen even when you're traveling across stretches of Texas or any other state that does not have an internet connection or a cell phone connection, because it's already on your phone if you've downloaded it. It's an increasingly popular platform, and it's a good way to get started as a guest on a podcast. So if you are nervous about, am I going to have the content? Am I going to have the consistency? Do I even know how to talk? It really helps our public speaking when we run podcasts or when we're on podcasts. So reach out to a local business that has a podcast and see if your organization wouldn't benefit from being a guest. I know that with my podcast, I'm sure April has this same wonderful thing happen to her. But with my podcast, I've received a couple of emails from those that are out in the world that have found my podcast, and they've asked for me to consider them or one of their clients as a potential guest. So it's a great way to make connections too. You might actually learn from another like entity. It's a good thing to partner up as well. Being a guest can help you with that whole camera shy piece, because whereas you can record your podcast as a video as well, and those are truly referred to as vodcasts, but most people just refer to say podcast with video or something of that nature. You can use that content and post it to your YouTube channel, or take snippets and post it on your other social channels to lead people in. I know that when I produce a podcast myself for my business, then I have all my notes written out. So I can take pieces and use that as promotional material on my social media accounts to push people to the podcast. Again, it's that whole come see me, find me there, I'm here, and here's where you can listen. And you're constantly trying to encourage people to listen to you and purchase from you and support you and get information out there for people. That's why you're here today. It's why you're listening. So being a guest also can help with the butterflies. So if you're nervous about what does my voice sound like, you guys, it's okay. I have the most nasally twang voice, but it's my voice. And I haven't gone to voiceover classes, so I don't know how to do that. I have to just live with my voice, and it's wonderful. I know you agree. Don't chat about it. You'll distract me. The one thing that podcasters sometimes make a mistake on, and I've seen this in multiple areas that I've researched, is that the podcast, the company focuses too much on themselves. Focus on what the customer wants, not what you think they want. What does the customer want? And you know who your customer, your audience is. So promote to them, talk to them, give them the information they need. And again, I could go on, but I'm going to say that I was able to recently host an hour-long class on podcasting that the Chamber and the library supported. So I encourage you to go to the Chamber YouTube channel, or both the library, Smithville Public Library or the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce, to their videos, and you'll see that class as well as many others that they have been hosting almost a year now. So with that, just a quick summary of Facebook. It's one of the largest digital platforms, and your competition has a page. Instagram is owned by Facebook. It's easy to utilize. Twitter, it's good for news and customer service. However, advertising is still kind of tricky on there. I've been researching it, and even the platforms out there that I research say it's tricky. But getting information out, it's a presence. YouTube, it's engaging. It helps your search engine optimization. Like I said, it's like having a second website, and it's free, and it's very popular. And podcasting. This is an up and coming, engaging, informative, and easy to digest platform, a way to get information out to your consumer. So at the end of the day, promoting a business is different today than it was 5 years ago. And goodness, don't we know it's a lot different than it was 1 year ago. And it's going to continue to change. There's still relevant opportunities to promote locally through those more traditional based media. But with the increasing numbers of consumers relying on that digital means, the digital means of social platforms to research, to learn and purchase, not utilizing digital marketing could ultimately impact your business in a negative way. And we don't want that to happen for you. Outside of the potential costs associated with having access to the internet, which I'm not sure how anyone runs a business in today's world without a computer and internet, or at least a really good cell phone signal. Each of these platforms and means of communicating with customers, free. Your time is the investment. As you know that you can invest money in boosting and advertising and promoting and getting it out there further, it's still free. So when considering starting or adding a social media platform to promote your business, do the research to determine which platform your target audience is on. Folks, if your target audience is on Pinterest and you're investing all of your time and energy on a different platform, is that good marketing? Would you do that with your print media? Would you put a billboard in South Texas if all your business is going to come from North Texas? But anyway, you do the market research. You've done that to start your business and to drive your organization. So don't forget to do that with the socials as well. And one last bit of advice. When you choose to utilize any of the digital platforms discussed today or any of the myriad of others out there, be consistent. As you grow, in your reach, you may find that investing in hiring someone else is the way to go, in-house or out of the business. But the main thing about socials is, outside of being consistent, is be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Be genuine. People will love you because you are you, and your product or your organization, you represent that, and you've got a passion for it. So with that concludes my presentation on the social media platforms out there. So April, back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. And so you have you gone ahead and replied to these two chat?
Oh goodness, I thought I did.
I thought you did, but I just want to be sure.
Judy and Barbie?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just want to, we have several people watching, and I encourage you to just pop in, turn your video on, unmute yourself, and ask some questions. Go ahead and just ask directly, or if you don't want to do that, type it into the chat. Judy, did you have a question?
Not so much a question, but a thank you for the breakdown on the demographics on some of the users, because I was reading an article. This is why I specifically asked about TikTok versus Instagram and how to reach our young adult readers, because on some of the platforms, it is mostly frequented by adults. And so they're kind of acting as the gatekeeper, and our young adults are not getting exposed to some of the young adult reading material and not giving us the feedback so that we get the right books that they want to read. So having that breakdown is very valuable. So thank you, Anna.
Absolutely. And Judy, I appreciate you bringing that back to as a topic of discussion, because something else to consider, I don't know that I spoke about this enough, is that from the social aspect, if you've got kids out there that are really digging the materials that are being promoted through your programs. I know you have a teen program, and then you have the Little Bitties program. The Little Bitties, what do you call that little group? Forgive me.
Little bookworms.
Yeah, the bookworms. I love that, bookworms. So the bookworms, they may or may not have a social account yet, but their parents do, right? So the parents are the target. So that age group, where are those folks? But then your teens, they may be on Snapchat, they may be on Instagram or TikTok, but the beautiful part is when they really get into it, they're going to start sharing. They're going to be part of your sharing network that is like having more marketers. You know, it's like an affiliate marketing program with no costs associated. You don't have to pay them, but yeah, so thank you for bringing that up.
That's a very good point. And I know that Anna touched a little bit on, this was more about how different social media platforms will impact your business, but it's important to, as you do things like Facebook, for an example, that you kind of watch your, you watch how your market is viewing your social media. And that's something that I recommend all of you go back and look at some of the other classes that we've offered. Reach out to Anna and ask her to explain that all to you. But figuring out exactly when your customers or your clients or whoever you're reaching out to really pays attention to your posts is going to be really important to you figuring out how to target across these different platforms. So a great example would be from a chamber point of view. We can really figure out, based on many years of insights and information that we receive from, again, for example, Facebook, exactly when people tend to read our posts, when they tend to share those posts, when they tend to engage with those posts, how they engage with them, what type of media works very well, whether it's still photography or videos. All of that is going to be really important to your business as you try to really target and grow your audience.
That's an excellent point. Not to also to segue on that is these are social platforms. So if someone comments, even if it's just a share of tagging someone else so they'll see it, going in and from the business standpoint, try to make sure you're on your business page and liking that they've shared it with someone. It's all about those social engagements. You can put tons of dollars behind boosting and getting it out there, which is beneficial, but really organically connecting with the people that, like April said, comment, like, and share. Thank them for the share. Go in and put the little like beside the when they've tagged someone. If they've made a positive comment, put a heart. Listen, I go to a local pizza place and I have I love my pizza and I want to take a picture and I put it out there. When that restaurant likes that I did that, makes me feel so wonderful, you know. It's a feel-good thing. It's just what we do as humans. So I'll be quiet now.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. I appreciate that. Norman Jones has a question here. Norman, I'll answer that question for you. This particular online class that we're offering here, we record it and then it goes on the Chamber's Facebook page, as well as the library's Facebook page and the Chamber's website at smithvilletx.org. If you click on at the top of the page, if you click on events and go down to virtual classes, you can see every single class that we've offered since January of this year. All of it is available to watch at any time that you like. Do we have any other questions from those of you that are on with us today? I am not seeing any more things pop up in our feed. So Ms. Murray, Judy, did you have something else?
And just another thank you. You're getting ready to close it. And I just want to say thank you again, Anna. I appreciate it. And thanks, April, for bringing all these to the community.
Thank you again, Judy. And Anna, great class today. Thank you all for being on today. That concludes our class. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.